Hello, my crafty friends. Today we're going to make a journal out of a pattern envelope. And most patterns are like this. This one's not, and it's not as old as some of the other ones I've got here. I don't care that much about what's here. I got it specifically because it was 20 cents and I could cut out this beautiful little girl. Isn't she just gorgeous? And I thought I could cut out this little girl and maybe put something in front of her since that foot is hidden behind her. But that's why I bought this pattern. So if you've got patterns like this that maybe you don't particularly care what the image is on them, you could still make this journal out of this pattern piece the way I'm going to make one. The other option is to open your, well, let's just do it so I can show you. To open your envelope, this one's partly done already, just because it's been sitting around and been handled roughly. Open your envelope. And then you could reinforce in here rather than reinforcing it this way and closing it back up to make your front and back covers like I'm going to do with the one I'm going to actually do. So you could still use your envelope like this and just reinforce it in here. I'm going to use Tyvek to reinforce mine, but you could use cardstock or whatever you have. And so that's perfectly viable way to use a pattern envelope and make a journal out of it. But the other thing you could do is go ahead and do it this way and put some other things on the front like this or like this onto the front of it. If you don't particularly care for this whole thing, you could just put some other image on there, but leave Butterick so you remember that it was made out of this. You can do it however you want. But so this will work two different ways. You could either redecorate the front, which I'm going to do on the one I'm going to use anyway, but or you could open it up like this and reinforce it and make this your front, which is be equally cute. And I may end up doing one like that. I think that would be great. I just happen, other than this one that I pulled out just to show you that you could do one with this, I pulled out ones that are oriented like this. This is the only one I have this size, but this is a great size for a journal. Just a second, let me find let's see what size this one is. This one's 10 by almost 8 by 10. And that's a good size for a journal. And if you really like what's on the front of it, then you could just leave it like this and reinforce it. And if you don't, you could cover it up. Now, my idea for this one is that this girl is probably going to be part of the binding. She's going to be like a little bit in the front and the back. And so you could just put lace or fabric over her, and you could have these two girls on the front and these two girls on the back. Which would be cute too. And inside this one, you've got this, which would make cute pages. If you just cut them right where they are, you could make some cute pages to go inside your journal with these. And we may use some of that. In most of them, there's, this one has, it has 3 different sheets. So there's plenty of pages in there to make the pages for your journal. This may be the one we end up doing. It's not what I had in mind, but knowing it's got all that paper perfect there to make signatures, and this one doesn't have, well, it does have the book, and you could even use the book like, the papers inside to make be part of your signature in this one, and then just add other stuff. But if you decide to do one like this, and this is a normal size envelope, and just fold it in half and make your journal out of it, then your paper you know, each one of these size pieces you could fold in half, and it could be your signature too. So being able to use the papers inside as your signatures, I think a cool way to use this envelope. The one I planned on working on today was this one, because it's big and it would be easy, you know, I think it'd make a nice size journal. And it's not something that I mean, I like the drawings. I like the fact that they're drawn. And just, you know, kind of pen and ink. I like that. But if I wanted to keep them, then I would open it up this way and make a really big journal. But I don't want to. What I want to keep is this right here, and I'll cover that up with something. It's also got quite a bit of paper inside. It's mostly paper, actually. And then it's got this, the pattern pieces are made out of this, and you cut your own. You measure it out and draw it and cut it yourself. At least this person did. I haven't, see, here's the pattern pieces. It's actually paper rather than what we're used to doing. So this paper would make great pages for the journal. And so that's kind of my plan, is to use, see, if I turn my journal this way, those pages would work perfect in there. And this one, it's a different size than those, but it would still work. They don't have to all match. And these are a little bit smaller, but it would be good to have all those sizes in there. That doesn't bother me at all. And that's why I was planning to use this one today to do this. These are made, it's like interfacing, I guess. But you could glue that on something for texture, so don't throw that away, even though it's not normal tissue paper. I'll stick it over and do something with it. Now, I also had, these are copies I made of some of my grandma's sewing stuff. These were books that she had. And there were, I think, 6 books. And so I just did the cover and the first inside page of each of those books. And so I might use some of this. And these were also some of the stuff that she gave me. They were in her sewing box that I got. And I just made copies of them. And so I can cut these out now and I can use them. So you don't have to use the real thing. You can just make copies of the stuff that you've got. This is the sewing machine that she gave me. And that's the, you know, the book. And then this is inside the book. Shows how to, you know, thread it and all that stuff. And this is another little book that she gave me. And some needle books. There's the outside and there's the inside of that needle book. There's another one, the outside and the inside. And so all of those are things that that I made copies of that my grandma gave me. And then you could also, you know, make a copy of your pattern and then put it on top of the, you know, turn it the other direction and put it on top. Like if you made a copy of this, and then you could cut out these little girls and you could turn them and put them, you know, on top. You'd have to, of course, put something behind them. But that way you could go ahead and use the actual images, just oriented in a different direction. And that's kind of what I did these to do. And then I made copies of these old work baskets that I have. And I think that's everything that's in here. I did a couple of different ones, so. Okay. So I could use some of these pages in there too. But I think for this particular one, except for to decorate the cover, I may use some of this to decorate the cover. But I've got plenty of papers that came in it. to make this journal. Now, one thing that I want to do first is open it up and reinforce it with something. Now, you wouldn't have to actually cut it open, I guess, if you could put glue on whatever you're going to put inside it. And if you could keep it open long enough to slide that in there, you know, then you could just slide it in there and do it and glue it down. But I think it's going to be just a lot easier just to open it up. This is a 1981 pattern, which happens to be the year I graduated from high school. I have several of these, but I chose this one because of that. Just, it made me nostalgic. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and just trim the end here just barely. And this is not easy. I'm going to put it through this way. Go from this end. That one's all wrinkledy and it's not very easy to... Okay, I don't want to take off much though. Ooh, that didn't work very well, did it? I think I may have pushed too hard because this was okay. I think I'm going to do it like I did the other one. I'm just going to cut right down the side. Turns out that's easier than the easy way. Okay. So we've got this, and I think I'm going to glue my Tyvek to inside here, and then I'll fold this up and glue it down, and then I'll fold that over and glue it down. So my inside of the book will be this, and my outside of the book will be this, and then I'll decorate this. Okay, so let me find some Tyvek. You don't have to use it. I just have a bunch of it, and so I might as well use it. Oh, I've got one, though. Where did I put it? It was left over from the other thing. Maybe this will be big enough. Let's see. Then we'll have to cut a new one. Oh, yeah. Plenty, plenty, plenty. Okay. I'm going to put a little clip mark right here, just right inside. Don't want to make it exactly the same size because I want it to kind of hide inside. Okay. Let's do this. Cut that off. And then I can slide this in here. Okay, so I still have some left from that. And then I'm just going to glue this down right in here. Okay. And I'm going to use a glue stick. Pull this down here and do the edge a little bit. Okay. Now I'm going to do the same thing on top of the Tyvek and just glue down the Alright. Now I've got some places here that are not glued down very good. And I'm just going to use that because I can kind of stick it underneath there. There's a little place right there. Oh, it goes along down here. Okay. There we go. See, you kind of have to check these things. And then, oh, maybe I want to leave that. Let's see. No, because I think I want this on the front, so we're just going to go ahead and glue this down. Okay, so there's our cover, and I'm just going to trim this a little bit. I actually don't really mind it too much, but I'm going to trim it anyway. Now I'm not trying to decide the top. I may have to put some lace or something over the top because it's kind of I don't know if you can tell, but my cutting wasn't perfect. So we'll worry about that later. Now I need to decide what okay, it's 12 inches. So how big a spine do I want? I think a ½ inch is good. So I'm gonna go from 1/4 before 6. Let's make this lined up exact there. Okay. 5 3/4 to 5 3/4. And let's use this. I'm just going to draw a line, and then I'm going to move over here to 6 1/4, and I'm lining it up over here and down here so it'll be straight, because when you do it and you're sitting down like this, you really easily get it crooked. So I know, because I'm always getting it crooked, and I'm using that as my excuse for why my stuff's always crooked. Okay. Now right in here, I want something to kind of reinforce the spine a little bit. You could just fold it and let it be really soft there. The Tyvek will support it some. I don't know. I want it to be able to... I think I'm going to put a piece of cardstock or something. It doesn't have to be real stiff, but a little something in there to support that. Actually, I think I'm not. I think I'm going to let it kind of just round itself. So I'm going to just do it like this. So we can see that here's our spine. I think that'll be fine. And then I will sew it right down the middle of that. So there's our front and there's our back. And I'm going to leave the inside just like that because I like it. And we're going to, I kind of like it like that too. I don't like this, where somebody marked on it and then they scribbled it out. If they just left their words on there, it probably wouldn't have bothered me as much as scribbling it out. But anyway, so let's see. What do we want to put? I've got, so where did I put the papers that go inside it? Here we go. Now the papers that go inside this aren't aged like they're aged a little bit, but not like the cover is. So I'm not going to use any of them on the outside. I'm going to use something else to decorate it. I'm tempted to use like a piece of this. Let's see what it would do. Oh, there's a staple in here. Take that staple out. No, there's no way to do that without tearing it. This staple's all rusty and I tried, but it's not going to work. So, okay, that's all right. So if we put this here and we take it on around, it's actually too big for what we need. So, I'm sorry, I probably should have planned this out before before I came on here. but I didn't. Okay, I'm going to use that. And you have to be careful when you're using a glue stick on this kind of old paper, because it will tear if you're too rough. I'm trying not to show you what it will do because I really don't want to experience that at the moment. I'm going to leave the copyright on there where you can see it. So this will go, ooh, it's a little bit more, a little bit more than I wanted. Okay. Okay, let's open it back up here and make sure that's glued down really good. I will probably seal this cover when I get finished with some Krylon triple thick or something, because these papers are old and fragile. So okay, I think that's good. And then on the front, I thought I wanted to do this, but now I'm not so sure. But I do like these that I might just put right over this. So let's just cut those out real quick. Paper is a little hard to fussy cut because it tears so easy. Okay, I'm going to need something else too, because that let's take this real quick. I'm going to put, I think, some real lace on it, but I kind of like the idea of this. Let's see. Yeah, I think I like that. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and trim this right here. Okay. Okay. I'm just going to cover that up, but leave the price and leave that border. And then we're going to stick that on and cover up the rest of that word. Okay, I like that. Okay, now then, I need something right here. This was a 1944-1945 book. So it's much older than the pattern, but that's okay. Okay. And I'm going to glue that right up there. But I'm going to wait till I see what else I'm going to put on here so I can decide if I want it to go on top of something or underneath something. I kind of like these girls. I've used them before. They're a little darker, but I think that might actually look nice to have something a little different. We're going to try it out and see. You don't know till you try it out. That's why we audition things. Okay, let's... Okay, let me measure real quick here. Okay. I'm going to cut right between those two skirts down there. How's that for a weird way to measure? Okay, so we've got this. I'm going to take off a little bit more because I think I want it to fit inside that black line. I'm going to take off just a little bit here. Oops. Okay, I'm going to put that on like that, and then I think I'm going to put some lace on the back. So if I put this here, and then put this up here, I think I like that. Okay. Let's do that. I didn't quite get that inside like I thought I did. Oh well, it's all right, because this black line will be right there. We'll just move it down a little bit. Alrighty. Okay, so there's the front. And there's the back. I like that. Now we need to find a little piece of lace to go right there. And I will do that, but I'm gonna let this sit and kind of dry a little bit while I make signatures. Oh, well, I need to see what size the pages need to be. Let's see if this will fit just inside. Actually, that's perfect. Okay, so we're going to make them this size or smaller. Now let's do that. Okay, so I've got 2 of these, and that's actually perfect. So we'll just fold these in half. And I'm just going to make a 1 signature book. So let's see. Let's open this up. Just tear straight down that crease. That's handy. Okay, now these may be too wide. We will see. Alright, let's try this inside here and see. Yeah, they stick out just a little bit, so I'll trim these a little bit after I get them all folded. The nice thing about these kinds of pages is there's something there. It's not, you know, you don't have, the page is kind of broken for you, but there's not so much there that that you worry about. You know, you can just put anything on top of them pretty much, and it works out okay. I'm trying to decide how many pages I want in this book. That may be enough of those, because I've got 2, 4, 6, 8 already, and I want to do a few this size because they're smaller, and I think it'd be interesting. These are not as wide, so I think they will, they won't have to be trimmed at all. I need to get those back out and remember to trim them. Yeah, see, those are even smaller. So they'll fit in there fine. These just need to be trimmed off a little bit. Okay, I think I'm going to go ahead let's do a few more of these. Okay. Now I want to see how much of this we need to take off. So it looks like about well, maybe 3/8. Maybe 3/8. Right there. Okay. Doesn't have to be perfect, because the other ones aren't all the same either, so. Okay. Now I do want one of these biggest ones to be the outside. And let's go ahead and do one of these. One of these. Okay, so there's my signature. And all together we have, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 sheets of paper. clamp those. Oh, good grief, sorry. I think that's pretty much exactly the right size. Okay, there's the pages. Okay, we're gonna call this the top. And I'm just gonna eyeball the holes. I'm not worried about perfection there. Maybe I should be, but I'm not. Okay. Get my phone book. Put that right there. Well, oh, here we go. Couldn't find my pokey tool. This isn't the one I really like, but it's what I've got, so we're gonna use it. Okay. Now I'm going to put this in the cover. Actually, I want to put it on the back so I can see if it's actually centered or not. Okay. Now we're gonna sew it in. Let me find something I want to sew it in with. I think this will kind of match good, so that's what I'm going to use. And now I've got to find a needle with a hole big enough to put that through. There we go. There we go. Okay, I don't know. 1, 2, 3. I'm going to go ahead and do 4 because, well, actually I might want the string to hold it tight to 2, so let's do 6 just for 7, just for good measure. We're going to do 7. 7 plus a little, just for good measure. All right. I know that's too long, but I want to leave some string outside to shut it with. So we're going to start in the middle, and we're going to go from the outside in so that we can leave the string on the outside. Okay, just a second. Now then, this needle's bigger than my hole punch tool is, so it's Okay. I've made way too much string, but oh well. And now I'm going to go back out the top. Ooh. I'm going to pause a second. I poked myself. I don't want to bleed on it. Be right back. Okay. Ooh. Okay, let's grab this. A little bit of this stuff comes in real handy when you're doing this. Okay. And now we're going to go back in through the middle. And then we're going to go out through the bottom. And then I'm going to go under here. And we're going to tie it off. Okay. Undo it twice. And then we will leave these that length. Oh, let's take the clamps out. And we can wrap it around here. And I need to maybe put something there for it to wrap around. We'll see. The other way you can do it is to take one this way and one this way. And then tie it. So you can do that too. But so this one wouldn't need to be quite as long as that one if you do it like that. So it's just a easy little journal made out of an envelope, a pattern envelope. I like it though, and I think I really thought I was going to decorate it more than this, put lace on it and all that kind of thing, but I think I'm just going to seal it and leave it like this. At least for now. I may come back and add some lace later, but right now I kind of like the simplicity of it. I don't know what I'm going to do with it. I don't have any plan. My plan was to make it. So if there's somebody out there who wants it and would like to embellish it and play with it, just email me. My email's in the description box below, and we'll talk about it. If not, I will do something with it myself. Okay. Well, God bless you, and I hope you enjoyed this this episode of 31 Days of Altered Envelopes. God bless you. Bye-bye.